More on this now. Let's bring in former ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. Ambassador, welcome. Thank you for being here. There's so much to talk to you about. We're going to start off with the border because this brand new interview with Kamala Harris, she was sitting down with Lester Holt in Guatemala, and he asked her just very frankly why she has not yet, 76 days in charge of the border crisis, gone to the southern border. Here was the exchange.
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Ted Cruz says she laughed it off. Why will she not commit to a date and time to visit the southern border?
You know, Sandra, this is embarrassing. I don't know what the problem is. Clearly, she's fearful, but Kamala Harris was given one job, and that was to deal with the border. And any leader knows you can't fix what you can't see. She hasn't been on the ground. She hasn't talked to Border Patrol. She doesn't know what is happening there. So she says she wants to go to the root cause, and then she brings up Europe. No one has given her the job of Europe. She's got the job of the border. And I appreciate that she's gone to Guatemala. I appreciate she's gone to Mexico. You know why? Because both of those leaders said that the Biden administration is the reason that they're having all these problems at the border. This is the same woman that literally tweeted out, come one, come all, we're open for everyone. I mean, all you have to do is look at that. And so now she's going to say, do not come. You know what says do not come? When you show up at the border and you really have actions speak louder than words. I don't know what her fear is of the border, but clearly she has one. And I don't know what Biden's fear of the border is, but he has one. What I will call it is flat out denial. They think that if they don't go, it won't be real. It's very real.
Speaking of denial, when it comes to this report that found it plausible that COVID-19 leaked from the Wuhan lab, Ambassador, I want to get your thoughts on where we are with finding out the origins of COVID-19. Considering that, and we had Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State, on this program yesterday. He said there was some in the State Department that considered it not PC to even consider this Wuhan lab leak theory, and that he was poo-pooed every time he brought it up. So how confident are you with this new investigation, 90 days, Biden's looking into this, that we'll learn anything more and that it'll even be made public?
Well, first of all, should not be the question of, did this happen in a lab? Did it happen in a wet market? My answer is, prove to me it did not happen in the lab. Prove to us, the American people, prove to the world where 3.7 million people died that it didn't happen in the lab. If I were Biden, I would send an American team to China, to the Wuhan lab. That's what President Trump did with me. He sent me to the IAEA to ask direct questions about the Iran deal, and I came back with direct answers. These are bioweapons. This is serious. It has been way too long. We need a team to show up. We can't trust the World Health Organization. We can't trust China to tell us what's happened. They have covered up and 3.7 million people have died. I don't care what happened in the past. All I care is what happens now. And that means send a team to China, go to that lab, find out if the world is protected, find out what China knew, when they knew it, find out what the World Health Organization's involvement was, and find out if America funded any of it. This should all happen yesterday. We've got to quit stalling on this. China needs to be held accountable.
As a result, you're calling out U.S. corporations that are going to be major sponsors of the upcoming Olympics in China. In your piece on foxbusiness.com, you say U.S. corporations need to shed their China hypocrisy, practice what they preach to Americans. Companies are free to operate overseas, you say, including in China, but CEOs should be more self-aware. It's outrageous, you say, and embarrassing for them to self-righteously talk about social justice in America while staying quiet when it comes to communist China's total injustice. That's not woke. It's just plain wrong, you write. So why do you feel compelled to call out these U.S. corporations that continue to do business with China, and some of them supporters, sponsors of the upcoming Olympics there?
I am very passionate about the fact that we should boycott the Chinese Olympics. We shouldn't boycott it alone. We should get our allies to boycott with it. We should get a coalition that has already done something. Australia has already asked for an investigation in China and COVID. Canada's already asked to boycott the Olympics. Japan has already given itself a stimulus to become less dependent on China. India is ready and willing. Get a coalition together. What we are looking at is a bunch of American companies that are making money off of China. You know what? They can do that. But guess what? You can't turn around and cry social injustice. You can't sit there and condemn our Georgia voting accountability bill, all while you're supporting a country that has wiped out freedoms in Hong Kong, has given daily threats to Taiwan, is responsible for 3.7 million deaths, is committing crimes of genocide, terrible crimes against women and children. And they're going to go, and over half of the sponsors of the Beijing Olympics are American. Then they're going to turn around and say that we've got the problem. I think they need to show us where their money is. I think they need to show us why they're going to sit there and criticize America and prop up China when they've done all of this. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's hypocritical. And I think the American public needs to see it for what it is.
I want to turn your attention now to this upcoming Geneva summit where Vladimir Putin, Joe Biden will be sitting down. We're told we'll have a face-to-face meeting. We'll see if that happens. We'll see what sort of pressure the president puts on Vladimir Putin. I go back to your own words, July 2018, Ambassador, talking about Vladimir Putin. This is Christian Broadcasting Network. We don't trust Russia, you said. We don't trust Putin. We never will. Do you support the President Biden, sitting down with Vladimir Putin? Do you feel he's capable of being strong enough, or do you believe he intends to be with Putin in this meeting?
You know, I'll always support any of our American leaders meeting with leaders of another country, especially when they went and hijacked the, broke into the Colonial Pipeline, did this with a meat processing plant. But the thing is, Biden's making sure that he gets a warm reception because he went ahead and allowed for Nord Stream 2, which is an unbelievable move. You have turned around and given Russia the biggest gift they could have ever asked for. You have literally stabbed Ukraine in the back because otherwise oil had to go through Ukraine before it got anywhere else. And you've weakened our European allies by allowing this to happen. It's unthinkable that he did this. And the only reason he would give a pass to Nord Stream, the only reason he's no longer sanctioning companies that are producing the Nord Stream pipeline is because he wants a welcome reception from Putin. That's not being tough on Putin. That's wanting to make friends. We don't ever need to make friends with Russia. They will never be our friends.
Wow, those are strong words. Ambassador, I always finish by asking your ambitions for 2024, having you respond to all of that. I'm sure people at home are wondering as well. Will you be running for president?
I don't think I have to make that decision yet, but I can tell you we're going to make sure we win a lot of House, Senate, and governor's races in 21 and 22. We're getting to work.
Ambassador, really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks so much.